Yo, I never would have thought that I'd enjoy this going live thing. It's been less than 24 hours and I am seemingly enjoying it or clearly enjoying it. But one of the things that I love about God is that, or having a relationship with God, is that you can pray over something either out loud or in your heart. And I think in life we think that things are always according to our own timeline. That, okay, I said I want to do this YouTube thing, and therefore I'm gonna start it next week. Or I'm gonna start it the week after that. But God doesn't work like that. He will just randomly like put something in your heart. He will randomly place something in your heart and nudge you to get up and do it. And I think it's the most interesting thing ever because, like I said, I had been thinking about, not even thinking, but plotting um, around this YouTube thing for some time now. And because my phone doesn't have memory, um, doing the whole pre-record edit thing does not work for me at this time. So I was watching one of the YouTubers I follow. She does this live thing and she does it every day. She's like set a goal for herself to do a video every day for 365 days. And I was like, that's cool. And there are various reasons behind why she's doing it. It's also to like grow her platform, etc, grow her money, jalo jalo. And I found that really interesting and I've been learning so much from her. So that's one of the, if I can say, things that nudged me to be where I am and like why I'm doing this right now. Anyway, so let's get into the topic of today. My nails are horrendous, and I don't think my nails have ever been this bad ever since I started doing my nails. But I'm in that season in my life where I could care less about some of these things. Um, but yeah, let's get into what I wanted to talk about today. So I just had a conversation with my partner just now about activism. And one of the things I tell him very often is that he is way more of a feminist than I am. Like, that man is a feminist for real. And I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And he takes his activism quite seriously. I don't know that when he's doing it, does he know that it's activism? I don't think he does. He's just very passionate about like injustices, like speaking out about injustices, and I think it's very inspiring and it's very amazing. And I want to share with you guys a story that's going to lead to what we're talking about today. So a couple of months ago, there was an incident in his apartment. I actually didn't even seek permission. I think he's watching. I didn't seek permission to tell the story. I hope you don't mind. So, a couple of months ago, there was an incident in his uh, block, like where he lives, and there was a man uh, who assaulted his, I don't want to say baby mama, maybe let me say his wife. I actually don't know if they're married. But yeah, the mother of his child, who had just recently given birth, by the way. I think it was like a few days in. And I don't even want to get into what happened, but it was very petty. And there was a whole outrage within the apartment area, the area, in terms of the neighbors um, uh, banging down the door to get this guy out of the house so that they could like street justice, that sort of thing. Called the police, everything, and my partner was really riled up. He was one of the people banging down on the door, calling the police back to back for them to hurry up. Went to the hospital where the woman was admitted. Took pictures, took videos, put them online, tagged the relevant civil society organizations that deal with GBV, Jalo Jalo, and it was hectic. Like everywhere, he was like, "We need justice for this lady. We need justice for this lady." Everywhere online, and a few days later, I think 1 or 2 days later, this woman fled the hospital, went back to the house, went back to her man. It was a whole thing where the people that lived in the area were like, "These people need to get out," and the landlord initially told them, yeah, you guys need to leave, but it's been like 4 or 5 months now and they're still there. And the guy, I think he was in jail for like a couple of days and then they released him. So what's happening now is that my partner now has to like look over his shoulder every day when he and every evening when he comes back home from like work or anywhere he went, because the guy like is always giving him like evil eye or like dirty looks and things like that. And he was telling me the other day that they actually had a ceremony where they were like where they were what, yeah, where they had um where the christening, I think the baptism, I think, of the child, and it was a whole celebration with family members and things like that. And did I mention that this guy had beat this woman to a pulp? Like it was bad, and I don't think it was the first incident. So what we were talking about this morning, we're talking about another something that's happening right now in this country where um, a large group of people is seeking justice for for, I don't know if I can call it a cold case, but an unsolved case where a young girl who was like 8 years old was raped by her caretakers, family members, like which were her cousin and her his dad, and the mother, who is the sister, I think, or cousin of her mother, ended up covering up what was happening, and then um, the girl, the 8 year old, who then. Guys, is this thing still on? I got a call from my mother. They say that they like 101, YouTube 101, you need to put your phone on flight mode. I forgot. But that's still a thing. Anyway, so I shouldn't be smiling. This is a serious case. So then this girl from 8 until I think she was about, I don't know how old she was when she died. But she ended up dying, and apparently this year she would have been 21. And the case has resurfaced, and there's a lot of public outcry and things like that. And apparently there's like a whole like march today around the issue, crying for, like, people are crying out for justice on this issue. And so we're having a conversation, and I was asking, and my partner, I was like, so what did you learn from the last time with the situation with the neighbors and things like that? Because he was called by so many people, quite a few people asking him to take down the posts, things like that. He was really heartbroken. And me asking, what did you learn? It wasn't to be like, okay, you need to chill, you need to calm down, stop that act. No, 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 no. I am an activist myself. I cry out about or speak out about things that I don't agree with. Um, it wasn't in a bid to silence him and tell him to what's it called, to stop. Um, we were just having a conversation around how it's just really tough. Like, society doesn't care about things you care about. Society doesn't care about things that are wrong. And because he was saying that he was talking about the son and the father, the ones that sexually abused this girl, and he was like, yeah, if those people should step out, people are gonna beat them up and almost and kill them, whatever, whatever. And I was like, that. I know that you think that that's the case, but that probably won't be the case. That might not be the case. So don't get your hopes up that that's what's gonna happen. Society just doesn't care as much as you do. Um, and it's very sad. And if you allow it as an activist, it can end up making you no longer interested in going out and fighting for causes like things that are just like mind-blowingly wrong. Like, why are you guys just sitting there not saying anything, not doing anything? Why? If you allow yourself to get consumed in the why, the anger behind why nobody's doing anything, you will just like you'll just end up not wanting to fight for anything anymore. So what I was telling him is that, one, um, don't get don't have ideas around what people are gonna do or hopes around what people will do. Um, the only person whose actions that you can control are yourselves. The only actions that you can bank on are your own. Everybody else is just gonna disappoint you when it comes to this issue. All you can really do is pray, like for real. All you can really do is pray that the lawyers that are handling this case, they don't lose hope. They don't decide that this is too expensive and takes too much of our time and we need to let this case go. You need to pray that they continue to have resilience to follow through with this case. Not only resilience, but the resources, because we can't forget that going to court and things like that are expensive. So you need to pray for the lawyers. You also need to pray for the mother as well, that she also continues to have the resources and the capacity to be able to continue this campaign. Also, I was thinking about like public figures and like celebrities from that country, your Davidos, your Burna Boys, you know, they often sit with their hands like this, like, oh, I don't know, what can I do? What can I do? It's simple. Financial aid. That's what they can do. They can donate resources to ensuring that this cause continues, this campaign continues to be very loud, and until hopefully justice is served. So in terms of everybody else, in terms of the general public, the truth of the matter is that nobody cares. Um, People don't care. People will disappoint you. You know, I used to say this thing that people always say that they want the truth, but it's funny because when you actually like go on public platforms and speak the truth, people start looking at you like you're weird and like you're crazy. So as an activist, as an advocate, you have to be prepared to look crazy. You have to get comfortable with looking crazy. You have to be comfortable with feeling lonely, being alone, fighting alone, doing everything alone. And you have to also get used to the fact that people will praise you in private and almost never in public. And it's quite sad, but that's one of the things that you have to get comfortable with when it comes to being an activist or an advocate. Um, yeah, that's just how society is. I think only recently I started understanding that that's how things are, and um, it's quite sad, but yeah, it's a lonely road, and that doesn't mean that you should quit. The other thing, I had a conversation with Tej quite a few months ago. There was something I was really mad about, I was infuriated about, and I asked them, like, Tej, like, what keeps you going as an activist? Like, and she's like, girl, I want to tell the truth. What keeps me going is um, not fearing being broke. You've got to get to a point where you're not afraid of being broke. And not a lot of people are privileged, to be honest, to say that they can go back to their parents' house because they decided to burn everything. You know what I'm saying? Burn all bridges for the sake of justice. But my situation allows me to be able to do that. And I remember taking that and being like, wow. And that's just been me this year. I've walked away from a lot of things. I've said no to a lot of things. I've rejected a lot of things this year, and I found myself being broke at certain points because of this. But yeah, that's just that. If you really want to be an activist, if you really want to be like somebody who advocates for things that are right, you have to get to a point where you're not afraid to lose people, you're not afraid to look crazy, and you're not afraid to be broke. In terms of this whole rant being concise and flowing in a way that makes sense, I hope it did. And that's the end of this video today. It means that I'm officially done with today's video. I can rest. and I can get ready to go on the radio. Bye, and thank you for watching.
Guys, how do I turn this thing off? This is me. Even yesterday, I was like, yo, how do